Hey everyone, my name's Elise, welcome back to another video. I know it has been for fucking ever since I promised real structured content instead of just deck profiles. I know that was back in September. I'm 6 months late on trying to give you guys more content and everything else. I can really only chalk it up to mainly like 60% laziness, 20% busy with doing things with my girlfriend, because apparently relationships take time and effort, doing stuff with friends even with the state of the world, helping out at locals, stuff like that. So a little bit of busyness, and then 20% was also, it was hard for me to do any sort of computer work until I got a new chair, and yeah, I have a serviceable chair that I can actually sit in and actually stand to sit at my computer for more than 20 minutes. So I've gotten a lot of motivation these last couple weeks, and I've even been streaming a lot on Twitch like I promised I was gonna be doing a few months ago, but now I'm actually starting to do it. I'm having a lot of fun. I just reached affiliate the other day, and I don't know, the Twitch streams have been so much fun, so I implore you, if you have not checked out one of my Twitch streams yet, link will be down below in the description. I do a lot of informative stuff in my stream, as much as I possibly can, but we also have a lot of fun. I get randomly drunk sometimes. We play some remote duels. We just hang out and chill and just have a good time, and you know, it's a lot of fun, and I've been really loving it so far, even though I've only done it a few times, but it's been so much more fun this time around than the last time I did it. So please check out the Twitch stream. I would really appreciate it. But anyways, let's get into the grid of this video, and this video is net decking and why I think it is one of the best things you can do for yourself if you want to get good at Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's get into this. So for those of you who have literally no idea what I'm talking about, let me back it up a bit. So net decking is essentially when you take a deck list that is either online or from someone you know or something like that and just using it to play Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of the time people will at least change a couple cards here and there, but 90% of what that list had to offer is what you were using. A lot of people think it's not creative, doesn't promote your skill as a deck builder, and is just overall not a skillful thing to do, kind of viewed as scrubby. I personally think it's actually one of the best things you can do for yourself, and we'll get into why now. So if you guys weren't aware of me and my existence in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Over the last couple years, if you've seen any deck profile of mine, you will probably see me say something like this. Shout out to Justin Singh, he made the list as always. Yeah, shout out to Ryan Yu, it's literally his list. And biggest shout out to Herman Hansen because he's the one that actually made the list. So yeah, I mainly do not use lists that are constructed by me, which a lot of people do consider net decking. At the same time though, this is actually a really common thing that occurs in this community. Not everyone is confident in their deck building ability. I don't think I am a great deck builder. I think that's a field I lack in and something I'm trying to constantly improve. Part of me feels like I have the right collaborators on my side to where if I work on my technical play the most and can quickly understand the decks that I am given, and the basis is laid out by someone else who's just way smarter than me in that aspect. I'd rather compete to the best of my abilities, which means having the best constructed deck while also having the right technical to play said deck. It might not be the most creative way to do it, but at the end of the day, we're playing a competitive game. If you're going into a major event or playing for prizes, you want to give yourself the best chance possible if that's what you're intending to do. It is a very common thing that happens in the community. For example, 2019 North American World Championship qualifiers. Cody Angeloff was the winner of that tournament. However, his deck list was not made by him. It was made by Hani Jawari. He's just God when it comes to deck building most of the time, and he just is super smart, and you'd be dumb to not want to take someone who's just leagues above you with the things that they know about correct ratios, correct tax. Like there's so many different things that go into deck building that a list may look standard, but there's so much that goes into it that's gonna make it so it's a winning successful list. It also had the right pilot to go with it. It just was the perfect recipe to get where it got. And a lot of the time this is what people do. They collaborate with each other, they pass ideas along to everyone, and just try and build themselves up to make them all have the best possible chance, because we're playing a competitive competitive games still. So while this isn't directly considered net decking because you're still at the end of the day, I contribute to every single deck list that I've done in some little tiny way, shape, or form, even if 80% of the work was not my own. This isn't net decking in the purest form, but it still could be considered as such. Now, I bring up the concept of working with people that are way smarter than you, collaborations, working with friends and whatnot, because all of that still ties into net decking. Because at the end of the day, it's a list that all those people have worked on, all these smart people have had, that are getting posted, that have done well, seen success. It's just a free thing to use to learn it and understand it instead of wasting time trying to make this deck in the first place. So the best example I can give from this from recent memory is last year when Xumping Zhu won a UDS with the Rocket deck. And then the week after, he changed 2 cards and gave the list to Manav and Cody, who then topped the 3v3 YCS in Vegas. Cody definitely had a hand in helping with those card choices, and the reason why they were able to do it so quick, Shu already had the template laid out for them, which meant Cody and Manav could focus more on really learning the ins and outs of the deck, understand the card choices that were made, and because they have that expedited learning process, they can be more informed to how the deck works and what the deck may possibly need. If you work from scratch, you go to the point where you know the deck, but you don't know complex situations, and you can't just look at a hand and say, oh, I know instantly what I can do and how I should play around blank interruption and other blank interruption. Instead, you're going to look at a hand and be like, okay, this is combo, I don't know what's going to happen if it's not combo. Because they had the head start, they were able to get to a skill point to where they had the technical play to properly pilot the deck and get that finish that they got. And they wouldn't have gotten it with those decks if they didn't have that head start. And that's true with basically anything as well. Because after that 3v3, I also picked up the deck and I played it and was able to learn it a lot quicker than if I just freshly built it. And I was able to sit there and make informed changes to the deck with Cody and Shu as well, and we got it to a point where we genuinely felt comfortable with it going forward, and it would not have been possible if I had not been able to just grab this deck list and try it and see where it got me. If I wasn't able to do this, I would have been stuck at, this deck just sucks. And to go at this point of a head start, we kind of got to take it to a different perspective, which is being at the same level as everyone else after an event happens. What I mean by that is, typically after an event happens that has something unusual and unpredicted happen, everyone gets into this new point of the format that they didn't expect to be in. Now that point that I think is the best example recently is 2019 YCS Secaucus, the one that Cody Angeloff won with Trickstar Striker. I'm bringing up Cody again. Who would have guessed that? What the fuck is a Cody Angeloff? But anyways, most people expected at that event the best decks to be Goki, Striker, and Spiral. Trickstar Striker wasn't really expected to be up there unless you were in this little niche group of people that really knew what the proper way to do it is, because we actually had tried it leading up to the event and it just kept seeming like it wasn't the right way to go. So our decks were more geared towards the Goki deck and the Striker deck, and luckily when you play against Goki, a lot of the same cards will work against the Spiral deck, so it was a lot of the same concepts. However, because that event shook things up, everyone got to an even playing field. Now, if you didn't take a close look at the Trickstar Striker decks that were doing well at that event, you were going to be behind and not know how to fully progress forward in that format. If you took the time to grab that deck or any other deck that did well in that event, you get to learn the ins and outs within a week instead of taking 4 weeks playing against other people who are currently playing that deck poorly and not understanding the full capabilities of it. If you pick up that deck, you're going to fully understand it and have the informed choices to make changes to either your deck or to the deck that you net decked to progress forward in the format, knowing, okay, people are gonna play this new card to counter this other deck that we didn't think about before. So now we gotta change everything to adapt to this new idea. This allows you to actually have a lot of creativity going forward. And the reason for that is because there is, even though a deck list looks like it'd be standard standard, there's a lot of different thought processes and creativity that went into doing this. And it wouldn't have been possible if the original person wasn't creative with the deck. It still is something you create at the same time. Now, if you take a deck and really study and break it down, you're going to understand the creativity that's going into it. And by understanding it, you can put it forward to new ideas. Because a lot of the time when people think creativity, it's going to fall more in haha, this funny surprise tech choice, instead of something that's going to consistently work with the deck throughout the entire tournament and provide a nice fluid experience with the deck. Because sometimes a lot of these weird techs clog, don't mix well with the deck, and unfortunately just end up falling short. But if you use good problem solving skills to make something that's going to meld well with the deck, it's going to just carry you forward more than anything else. And a lot of the time you're not going to get there unless you take a lot of time studying other people's decks and understanding the choices that went into it, and you're just going to learn a lot more from breaking down these decks and playing them yourself and really learning why some card choice you may not have understood before, once you play it enough, you're going to get it and you gain a new understanding to why it was good, and then you can just apply it to the future. So hopefully all of that made sense to you guys on why I think it's really one of the best things for you to do to grow as a player, to net deck. It's just going to open up your avenues so much more than you ever could have thought of before, and I think you'll just get better because of it. And at the end of the day, I think all of us getting better together makes this game so much more fun. It allows so much more to happen. It just gets better. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and consider net decking after this and learning a couple things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little thing. If you want more content like this, let me know any ideas you might want to have. I like doing these nice generalized discussions and more general game concepts, and I'd like to do more like this. If you have any ideas, just leave them down below. I have a couple of things I'm planning, but we're gonna see how it goes. And if you want to talk more about these concepts with me, either leave a comment or please check out my Twitch channel. I love interacting with everyone. I love discussing these ideas and everything else. So please check out the Twitch. Please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, help spread it around. I really would appreciate it, but that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!